Oh my gosh, everyone. It's good to be back. April and I were in Boston for a week. Wicked spot. And had an absolutely awesome time. And I said to myself, oh, we'll shoot a video when we're in Salem for witchy stuff, which we were, and it was totally awesome. But we just got too swept up and having a good time and being on vacation. So I kind of took a little pause. So it's good to be back with you. Back in the mix today. Went to go see a movie that I had been dying to see ever since they announced it. It is called Deliver Me from Nowhere. This is the story of Bruce Springsteen. Us Gen X kids love Bruce Springsteen. I mean, the same age as my dad. So I guess a lot of our rock stars back in those days were our parents. That's weird. But at any rate, this tells a personal story of him coming off a tour in 1981 and dealing with a crisis of conscience, trying to figure out his life and recording what became basically one of the more stripped down albums in the history of time, which was ultimately called Nebraska, while simultaneously crafting one of the biggest albums of all time, which was called Born in the USA, which came out a couple of years apart. I will tell you this, if you don't care for Bruce Springsteen, I'm going to give the same advice that I gave a friend of mine a year ago when Bob Dylan's A Complete Unknown came out, and my friend said, well, I'm not much of a Bob Dylan fan, and I simply said, I'm not much of a Bob Dylan fan. Not that I don't love music of that era, but that story and this Bruce Springsteen film have so much more to do with telling an exceptional story, the human condition, and all the things that make a great drama worth watching, the relatability, in a lot of ways with Springsteen, watching his very complicated relationship with his father, and flashbacks to his youth growing up there in Freehold, New Jersey. And it's just... I absolutely cannot recommend it enough. Go out and support this film. It just came out. It might be a somewhat limited release, but it'll be a very limited release if nobody sees it. So go see that. That's at your theaters right now. We've got a great week of recordings and new shows coming out on the Secret Friends Unite podcast network. Secret Friends Unite. .com is where you find all of our shows. We're also available on podcast catchers of all types. You can see our Spotlight interview video segments on our YouTube channel, which is where you might be watching this, and always tune in for our TikToks as well. And also our Patreon over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite, which is where you can get a ton of bonus content. Have a great week, and we'll be back with more to talk about more content later in the week. Keep on trucking. Bye-bye.